He's heating up.
Better late than never, but never late is better. The Miami Heat tie up the series 111-108, going back to Miami for Game 3. This series is going to be very easy to track why they're winning or losing. All right, it's not like Boston. It's not like the Lakers or the Suns or the Knicks. It's going to be very simple, all right, because both of these teams keep things very simple when they play. Okay, Game 1, they said, you know what? We don't want Jimmy Butler to beat us, so we're going to take him away and force everybody else to beat us. The problem with that is nobody else was knocking down outside shots in Game 1. I mean, example, Max Strus goes 0 for 10 from 3 in Game 1. The others were flowing. Everybody was getting touches. The ball was popping around. Everybody was getting screens and cutting to the basket for the Denver Nuggets in Game 1. Okay, let's look at Game 2. All right, it's very simple. All right, summed up very simply in this game. 9 assists for Jimmy Butler because they said, you know what, we're gonna take him away again and see if the others can beat us. And they did tonight. Now you get Strus with 14 points, 4 of 10 from 3. You get 23 points from Gabe Vincent, 4 of 6 from 3. You get 2 of 6 from Kevin Love, 10 rebounds. And then you look at Duncan Robinson, fourth quarter, starts off on a personal 10-0 run to get them back into the game. All right, you look at the flip side. 1 of 6 from 3 for Michael Porter Jr., 5 points. KCP, 6 points. And then you get Nikola Jokic with 4 assists. Granted, he had 41 points, but his greatest asset for this particular team is his passing ability. You say, you know what? Let Joker beat us by himself. Let him go one-on-one. Force him to be a scorer. That's what they did tonight. All right? Now, looking at Duncan Robinson, looking at Strus, looking at Vincent, those guys are extremely important because if they're able to shoot the ball well, that opens up the floor for Jimmy Butler, which it did later in the game. All right, Jimmy was pretty quiet for throughout the entirety of the game. He was getting everybody involved. Everybody was knocking down shots. He was moving it well. Anytime Jimmy goes to the basket or goes up for a shot, he's shooting over multiple defenders, sometimes 3. He can't get a clean shot off, except for when guys are knocking down open shots. They had 16 open missed threes in Game 1. They go 17 of 35 tonight, 48.6% from 3. On top of the fact that they were contesting Jimmy without fouling. So they only had 2 free throws in Game 1. They go 18 of 20 for 18 of 20 tonight. So they were getting to the free throw line. They were knocking down open shots, and they got important stops when they needed to. All right, they got important stops late in the game to get them back into it. Again, Duncan Robinson opens the fourth quarter on a 10-0 run by himself. Jimmy Butler was still on the bench. Tell me that's not going to open up things for Jimmy when he gets back on the court, especially the way Bam is playing. He's being aggressive. Now, here's the other thing about this game. Kevin Love was in the starting lineup. Kevin Love being in the starting lineup, he gets 10 rebounds tonight, and he has 6 points for 2 threes. Not only does that open up the floor offensively, but what it does defensively, it makes it so that there's another big body on the court to get rebounds, block out, and he had 10 rebounds tonight. Bam has so much responsibility defensively. He's switching out on perimeter players. He's got to get back and cover Joker because he knows that nobody else is going to, be able to guard him one-on-one, be able to block him out and all those other things. So guess what? If he's so intent on focusing on Nikola Jokic, stopping him from getting on the board, stopping him one-on-one, or attempting to guard him one-on-one, then who else is going to be on the court to have, that clear up the rebounds? All right, so Kevin Love, one of the best rebounders we've had over the last 10 plus years. You have him as an asset and be able to knock down open shots. That's nothing but a plus, on top of the fact that Caleb Martin came into this game feeling a little ill, so he wasn't playing at 100%. But once he gets back to 100%, now you have to think about, okay, Tyler Hero has an extra day to rest, extra day to get healthy, and we save him for Game 3. Looking at Denver Nuggets side, they can't afford to give Miami life. The thing about this is Miami has 7 times this playoff run where they've trailed 10 plus points and they've come back to win those games. That is the most in the last 20 years. The most in the last 20 years, not only by an AC, by any seed. Okay, so what do we know about Miami? Okay, they play a lot of zone, they play a lot of full court defense, then they drop back. Nikola Jokic's biggest thing was getting the ball in the middle and dishing it out. You get Gordon, He's going, you know, 12 points in the first quarter of last game. He has 12 points the entirety of this game. Michael Porter Jr. played a very solid game last game. He was on the boards for 12 rebounds. He only has 6. That is the Kevin Love effect. You're able to gobble up some of those rebounds that he was able to get in the first game. You take that away from him. Now you make Jamal Murray, you make him the facilitator. What does that do? That limits a 50, 40, 90 shooter to just 18 points. He didn't have a terrible game. He played pretty well. Like I said, 7 of 15 from the field, 18 points, 10 assists. He played pretty well, but that's not the same Jamal Murray that we've seen for the entirety of this playoff run, on top of the fact that Nikola Jokic is averaging a triple-double. He only gets 4 assists. Jamal Murray is shooting 50, 40, 90. Those numbers are taken out of the equation when you force Joker to be a scorer only. Now, Jimmy Butler hasn't played like Jimmy Butler the first 2 games. He hasn't really gotten going, but now that the shooters are going, then you go back home in game 3. Potentially, you're getting Tyler Hero back. The floor is looking wide open for Jimmy Butler to start to feel himself, get into a rhythm. This is a must-win game 3 for Miami. A must-win game 3 for Miami. And also, if they win, okay, you can't go back to Denver with a 2-2 tie. Or at least if you play game 4, you can't get blown out. You cannot get blown out game 4. You have to keep it close because you don't want Denver to think they, that they completely shifted the momentum. You go into Denver to potentially lay an egg in game 5. So you have to keep in mind, win game 3, keep game 4 close. Make sure all the shooters are rolling. Make sure everybody's going. Space out the floor. Bring in Tyler Hero back. If you don't want to bring him back game 3, fine. But this is a must-win for you guys. So Jimmy Butler has to come out scoring on all cylinders. Need Bam to still be aggressive. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. He's all over the court. He needs to keep doing those same things. Duncan Robinson to start the 4th quarter was a very important start for him because not only does it get his confidence going, it was able to open things up for Jimmy late in the game to get off some key buckets late in the 4th quarter that held off Denver because they were coming back fiercely. All right, they were not going to go out, without a bang. So they came back. They put a lot of pressure on the Heat. Jimmy made some timely baskets, got to the free throw line with an and 1 on Gordon. That sealed up the game for them, and then sealed it up with a clean defensive possession. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts, no questionable, no calls or anything like that. Discipline, stayed down on any pump fakes, got through screens, contested 3-point step back, game over. Miami goes back 1-1 in Miami. Game 3 is a must-win for the Heat. Keep it close in game 4. Maybe you're end up in a situation like you did versus Milwaukee, like you did versus New York, like you did versus Boston. Get the must-win, get the must-have 3-1 lead going back into Denver. You got to be thinking, be greedy in this situation. All right, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys. Heat tied the series 1-1 going back to Miami.
He's heating up.